4-0-0-390201, the people of the state of Michigan versus Tanea Nicole Tubbs. This matter is scheduled today for a pre-trial. Appearances for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elena Rozak on behalf of the people, P78815.
Good morning, Judge Deanne Patillo, P82378 on behalf of Ms. Tanea Tubbs.
Ms. Tubbs, if you can state your name for the record, please.
Grand Rising. I asked the Holy Spirit to come in here and touch this courtroom today, and I welcome the Holy Spirit. I am Tanea Nicole Tubbs, the beneficiary.
Okay. And Ms. Patilla is being appointed as your standby counsel, Ms. Tubbs, all right?
No, sir, I did not ask for that. But if I'm being forced, then I'm being forced in direct coercion.
All right. Well, I'm not forcing you, but she's going to help in case you need anything. You don't ever have to use her, but if you want any questions on anything, she's there to help you, okay? You're gonna represent yourself, but if you have any questions, you can ask her, all right?
I hear you, sir.
All right. Do we have a jury trial date on this?
March 17th.
All right. We'll set this is set for jury trial on March 17th at 9 a.m. Ms. Tubbs, did you want to discuss settlement with the prosecutor, or do you just want to go ahead to jury trial?
I wanted to ask the prosecutor a few things, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Your Honor, one of the things I think that we put on the record last week when we were trying to establish whether Ms. Tubbs was going to represent herself, if we were going to relieve the prior defense counsel of his obligations and then also get standby counsel. And I think that today was more of an update just to make sure everything was in order, but knowing that the trial
and I have ruled that she can represent herself, haven't I?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And that's why the other counsel was relieved and
Right. Okay.
Ms. Patillo was put on as standby.
All right.
With that, I think that we had mentioned the possibility of having Ms. Tubbs be brought over here so that we can have discussions. Ms. Patillo is standby. I feel comfortable speaking to Ms. Tubbs as long as there's somebody else there. Even if they're not fully representing her, at least there's a third person. And I wouldn't mind speaking to her in person, but I think it's going to be easier if she's here, and I don't necessarily want her to say something on Zoom in open court that might affect her case when she's representing herself.
All right. We can do this one of two ways. Either can put all of you in a breakout room and let the three of you discuss things, or we can bring her here.
I would ask Ms. Tubbs what she would like to do.
Ms. Tubbs, what do you want to do? Do you want to go into a breakout room with the standby counsel and your and the prosecutor, or would you like to come here physically to talk with them?
I can do standby counsel. I mean, I can do not standby counsel, but I can talk to them in the break room since she's afraid of what I have to say. So
here we go. Buckle in, because this courtroom session is one for the books. Today's Sovereign Citizen saga takes us straight to Michigan, where a woman named T. Nicole Tubbs walks into court ready to defend herself, or should I say, let the Holy Spirit defend her. Yep, you heard that right. Not a lawyer, not legal counsel, but divine representation. What unfolds next is part courtroom, part sermon, and entirely chaotic. We'll watch as the judge tries to maintain order, the prosecutor struggles to stay professional, and Ms. Tubbs confidently rewrites courtroom procedure on the fly. But behind TH, here's a real cautionary tale here. What happens when faith collides with the justice system and self-belief turns into self-sabotage?
That's an excellent idea. Ms. Tubbs, would you be willing to speak privately with Ms. Patella?
no, sir.
All right, Ms. Patella, I don't think I can order her to do that. So, Ms. Tubbs, as I told you before, we got taught the first day of law school, he or she who represents themselves as a fool for a client. I would strongly recommend that you talk to Ms. Patella, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. What would you like to do with that?
With all due respect, sir, I am not working alone. I work with the Holy Spirit, so only a
Right from the start, Tubbs establishes her trademark sovereign citizen introduction, grand rising, and invoking the Holy Spirit. This isn't courtroom etiquette. It's part of a familiar pattern among sovereign citizens who reject legal authority, replacing it with their own spiritual or pseudo-legal frameworks. The judge, though, is calm and professional, clearly recognizing what he's dealing with. You can almost hear him thinking, asterisk, here we go again. Asterisk, the tension here is fascinating. A seasoned legal system versus a self-proclaimed beneficiary of the account. Translation? She believes her identity is separate from her legal name. A classic sovereign citizen delusion that courts have heard
Either I'm telling you what they told us in law school, all right?
that's understandable.
All right, that's fine, Ms. Tubbs. So she apparently, will you be willing to have Ms. Patella in the room with you and the prosecutor?
Sir, I do not need her. Thank you. I'm not willing to.
All right.
I want somebody.
Yeah.
Regardless
So the
of who it
prosecutor
is.
says she does not feel comfortable talking directly with you without somebody else in the room. So
So you're
you tell
forcing
me.
me, you're forcing
I'm
me
not
to have.
forcing you to do anything. You know, you don't have to talk to me. We can just go ahead and have a jury trial. That's fine with me. So what the prosecutor is saying is if she wants to talk alone with you, that there has to be somebody else in the courtroom or in the room. So you tell me.
She can have her in the courtroom, but not on my behalf. It can be on her behalf since she's fearing what I have to say alone. I'm not understanding why.
Put the three of you in a breakout room to discuss things.
Okay, thank you.
Do you agree to that, Ms. Tubbs?
I agreed to speak with her with the third party on her side.
All right. And counsel, how long do you think we should put you in the breakout room for?
10 minutes to be safe.
10 minutes, and then you can have more time if you need it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
I'll take 5 minutes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put you in 10. You can always stop.
We're scheduled today for a pretrial. Appearances for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elena Rozak on behalf of the people, P78815.
And good morning, Judge Deanne Patillo, P82378, standing counsel for Ms. Tanaya Tubbs.
All right, Ms. Tubbs, if you can unmute and state your name for the record, please.
For the record, I am Tanaya Nicole Tubbs, the beneficiary of the account.
All right, Ms. Tubbs, you have a constitutional right to be physically present for this hearing. Do you agree to waive that right for today and hold this hearing by Zoom?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Where are we at on Ms. Tubbs' case, Madam Prosecutor?
Your Honor, I did get some information from Ms. Tubbs and I did look up the, I know that the defendant is in Calhoun County Jail right now and that she has a sentencing date of March 24th, 2025. When is our trial date? The 17th?
Notice how quickly the judge pivots to structure, setting a trial date, and asking if she wants to discuss a settlement. This is Courtroom Management 101. Get ahead of the chaos before it spirals. But here's where it gets interesting. When asked about negotiation, Tubbs doesn't mention evidence or charges. She wants to ask the prosecutor a few things. It's a subtle but crucial clue. Sovereign citizens rarely engage with facts or law. They focus on ideology. The judge senses this and keeps everything procedural, but you can already feel that this isn't going to be a normal pretrial.
I'm guessing that Calhoun County would let her come here pending their sentence, since we have a trial date. I don't know how that all works because their case is a 2022 case, so it's definitely older. But either way, that's a problem for somebody else, I suppose. I think that Miss Tubbs needs to be brought over here and maybe we should have a pre-trial before the trial once Miss Tubbs is here where we're all in person. And Ms. Tubbs can bring whatever documentation that she wishes to provide at that point. That way we all have it. And we're all on the same page, because some of the things that she's referring to, I do not have. And I would say that we're likely going to have to proceed to trial.
All right. When are you proposing that we have this, bring her over beforehand? Obviously, the closer to the date for the court's purposes, the better, because we don't have to retain her as long from Calhoun. But if you think it would help to bring her earlier, we can do that too.
I think that approximately 2 weeks before, so that puts us in the March 3rd area. Sometime at the end of the week before or early the week of March 3rd.
I'm available the 6th, if that works for the court, prosecutor and Ms. Tubbs.
All right, why don't we schedule this to have her brought over here for March the 6th, and we'll have the hearing at 11:30. Is that time okay for you, Attorney Patella?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll set this for March 6th at 11:30. Hey, May, can you send a writ to have her brought from Calhoun County here?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes, go right ahead, man, Ms. Tubbs.
I am looking forward to being out of here before then. And it is my duty to come there on my own as a freeborn sovereign to this. I do not need to be detained or retained. I am not an entity or subject to any entity. And I gave this paperwork to the 36th district, and I'm not going to be able to get this paperwork if I don't be able to walk and go get it, go home and print it out myself, because I have none but 8 children. I am by myself. I don't have support. I just have myself and my 8 children, which my oldest just went to.
At this point, the courtroom dance begins. The prosecutor requests a private discussion, trying to keep things civil and off the record, a totally standard move. But Tubbs interprets it as fear, claiming the prosecutor is afraid of what I have to say. This is classic sovereign citizen thinking. Everything is a power struggle. Every procedure is a conspiracy. What's really happening is the court protecting her from saying something self-incriminating. Ironically, the system she's fighting is trying to help her, but she's too busy defending her independence to notice. The judge, showing patience that deserves an Olympic medal, just keeps offering options.
An invitation to join a breakout room. And we're going to go to breakout room 2. So when you see the invitation to join, please join.
Magistrate, Mr. Myrick declined counsel.
Okay.
I'll just have him acknowledge on the record, and then I'll let you take it from there.
We've got Mr. Myrick coming back. We'll close the room.
I get the impression that he may be filing a special appearance on behalf of a sovereign citizen.
Okay, we've got Mr. Myrick back. This is 25-00183. People of the City of Berkeley versus Kamash Daku Myrick.
Magistrate, I'm just going to acknowledge my presence for the record. Patrick Gagnick. I'm here as appointed counsel on behalf of the arraignment docket this morning. I did speak to Mr. Myrick in private. I did explain to him he does have the right to counsel. I explained to him, obviously, that right. He's indicated to me unequivocally that he does not want counsel. Mr. Myrick, is that a fair statement?
That is a fair statement.
So with that said, I'm here and present, but with that, I believe Mr. Myrick will address the court on his own behalf.
Mr. Myrick, you have the right to decline counsel. You also have the right to change your mind. If you do, just notify the court.
Yes, sir.
You've been charged in this site.
Here it is. The Holy Spirit makes its official debut. I work with the Holy Spirit, she says, so only a fool would think I'm working alone. This moment is both surreal and revealing. It's one thing to have faith. It's another to substitute divine intervention for a law degree. The judge tries to ground her, reminding her that even lawyers with divine guidance still pass the bar exam. Meanwhile, the audience, and probably the clerk, are trying not to laugh. Still, behind the absurdity lies a tragic undertone. This woman is facing real criminal charges and has convinced herself that celestial counsel will suffice.
Citation that was issued on the 22nd day of January at about 5:58 in the morning, with driving in the city of Berkeley on Henley near Franklin Street while your license to do so was suspended. Driving on a suspended license is a crime for which you could be incarcerated up to 93 days and/or fined $500. You have a right to a trial. Trial can be before a judge or a jury. You can act as your own attorney, or you can be represented by counsel. If you cannot afford to retain your own attorney, an attorney can be appointed for you. You'd have the right to confront and cross-examine the witnesses against you. You'd have the right to testify yourself or not to testify. In the event that you choose not to testify, your silence cannot be used against you. You have the right to be presumed innocent until you're proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The court's going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf.
Now, the frustration is palpable. The prosecutor refuses to speak without a witness present, a perfectly reasonable precaution. Tubbs interprets it as another act of fear or coercion. This is where we see the psychological tug of war. She's desperate to control the narrative, while the court is simply trying to follow procedure. The phrase, "you're forcing me," comes up repeatedly in the sovereign citizen vocabulary, often used to frame any legal order as an act of oppression. But the judge once again stays cool, giving her choices and keeping the record clean. It's procedural chess, and the judge is definitely